Luke chapter 17 and verse 32. Remember Lot's wife. All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakurash. Yahweh is the true, holy, and powerful name of the Heavenly Father. Bahasham, meaning in the name. Yahweh Shai is the true, holy, and powerful name of his only begotten Son, who is the Savior of the nation of Israel, starting off with the elect within the nation of Israel. And Israel consists of you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, as well as your Israelite foreigners scattered abroad that may look like the nations where you've been scattered to, but are Israelites. And I also want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing out this word in all sincerity and in truth. All right, this is the brother you call from the GMS branch out in Des Moines, Iowa, coming back at you with another lesson inspired by the Holy Spirit, Harakakurash. And this is what I want to go into, all right, through the Spirit briefly. Okay, the precept that, I read, the Luke 17 and 32, remember Lot's wife. All right, and it's a tale of a woman, all right, who would have been delivered, okay, but didn't follow instructions, and she got destroyed. All right, whatever her reasoning was, all right, we can speculate, what her reasoning was and why she looked back, and we're going to go into the actual account as well. All right, but, the Spirit's been getting, on the woman in recent lessons through the Spirit. All right, you've got sincere women that are, seeking to be delivered, all right, seeking for salvation. All right, the Lord has put the fear of him in them to understand what's to come to a degree. All right, and coming out of this world, okay, and understanding, what's to come, the judgment. There's a way that we all have to conduct ourselves, all right, to be accepted, by Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, to avoid his wrath and his judgment, all right, from the man, all right, to the woman. Okay, women aren't exempt from becoming a new creature, all right, like you're just finna, hop on a chariot, all right, just because you're just with a man of the Lord. Nah. All right, there's a way that you have to learn to conduct yourself. You have to learn obedience, all right, and all these various different things. And feminism and the women's liberation, movement has really done a number on our women, all right, to really weaponize them to rebel against the man, all right, to look at being obedient unto their husband as just some oppressive system of whatever, however they try and spin it, all right, to where even the fact of, telling a woman that she needs to obey or be obedient, all right, unto you, makes her cringe, all right, but that's just because of, the philosophy of Esau Edom. All right, it makes them feel queasy, just hearing obey your husband. All right. But, there's sincere women that, are going to be delivered, that are going to be able to overcome their emotions and overcome these different things. All right. And ultimately receive salvation. All right. And what I want to start off with before we go into that actual account, I want to hit this in the book of Titus. All right. Titus chapter 2. And like I mentioned, we're all learning obedience. Even Yahweh Shai himself, it says that he learned obedience through the things that he suffered. All right. The servants of the Lord, the men. All right. We're learning to obey Yahweh Shai. So, Yahweh Shai is obeying Yahweh. All right. We're obeying Yahweh Shai. And the woman is set forth to obey the man. All right. And this isn't something, that's just for the benefit of the man or, whatever. Now, the woman is a helpmeet. Okay, a woman was created to serve the man. That is her purpose. That is her duty, right, to fulfill. Genesis 3 and 16, her desires to be towards her husband, and the husband shall rule over her. All right, that, order is set up for the protection of the woman. All right, and that's what we're going to read in the example with Lot. See, her not being obedient unto her husband led to her destruction. All right, led to her being destroyed. Okay, so, Esau's taught you to obey a man is just oppressive and everything like that. But in reality, it's for your benefit. All right. It's for your good. OK. So anyways, this is the book of Titus chapter 2 and verse 4. All right. It says that they may teach the young woman to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children. Right. So this is what the woman should be learning. All right. They should be learning to what? To be sober. All right. To love their husbands, to love their children. Right. To be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of the Most High be not blasphemed, right? So one of the points I want to focus on is that, the woman is supposed to be obedient, all right? As we're going to read in the book of Ephesians in all things, man. And once again, this is for their betterment, all right? This is for you're good. Just like with us. See, us being obedient unto Yahweh Shai and applying these words, becoming a new creature, really, submitting to do what's pleasing in his sight. All right, that's for our benefit. Like the scriptures talk about in the book of Job, it says, what does it profit? Let me go ahead and grab that. All right, because we're all going through this process. Okay. We're all becoming a new creature. We're all putting off the old man, the old, and you women aren't exempt from that. All right, if you sincerely want to be delivered, all right, these different things that may make you uncomfortable, that may bother you, whether it's the, man having multiple women or whatever the case it may be, or, obedient, whatever, these different things are things that you need to be praying about, asking the Lord to help you get over. Because if you can't get over these different things, the Lord will destroy you. All right, that's just plain and simple. Okay. There ain't no way around it. If we aren't obedient to what the Lord is saying, all right, and we're fighting and, trying to subdue our flesh and so on and so forth, we ourselves are going to be destroyed. All right, so we ain't here to sugarcoat it, for women to soften it up and everything like that. Like, nah, death and destruction is on the way, and it's going to be a lot harder for women and children in these times to come. All right, the suffering that's going to be happening. See, men are more built to endure and go through certain things. All right, naturally, all right, because of the woman being the weaker vessel. Okay, but as a man, there's certain things that men can endure. But even in that, see, the only people that are going to be able to endure in these times to come are servants of the Lord. All right, the true men of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, the true believers. All right, to make it through these coming times, it says wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. All right. So the men that have this wisdom and knowledge and have been applying it, walking in it, all right, they're going to be able to be stable. That's why it says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, than the golden wedge of Ophir. So these men are rare. Not only are they rare, all right, but, rare, precious, right? But they're going to be hard to find, okay? And majority of these women are wicked, and the Lord isn't going to give them over, in that time to a man to be covered. He's going to allow them to go through different sufferings and pain and really pay for the things that they've done. All right. The wickedness that they've committed. Right. But it also says in the book of Isaiah, let's hit this real quick just on that point, and then we're going to go back to this in the book of Titus, Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 2. And it says, and a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind and a covert from the tempest. Right. So a man is going to be a protection, a covering. All right. And it's a man of the Lord. All right, a true servant of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, all right, because he's going to be protected. See, through his obedience unto his Lord, all right, being Yahweh Shai, in turn, what? He's going to be delivered. He's going to be protected. Through him being obedient to the Lord, he's going to be granted that. He's going to be able to be stable, right? And it trickles down even to the woman. See, through your obedience, all right, through your, taking heed unto these words, all right, taking heed unto the instructions of your man and so on and so forth, is going to allow you to be within that hedge and that covering. And women that don't have, men of the Lord, servants, don't have a man, period. All right, you should be preparing your mind, all right, to be able to, check your emotions, subdue those different things. You should literally be preparing your mind to be able to endure, that man having other women, because it's going to happen. All right, once again, we're not going to sugarcoat it. Prophecy is prophecy. Isaiah 4:1 is going to be fulfilled. Okay. I remember I'll even, say even in my experience, when I came into the faith, the woman I was with, that was, of course, it was uncomfortable for her to know that, but I came into the faith with the woman I was with. And one thing I had mentioned, I'm like, look, if you can't deal with this now, I don't know how you're going to be able to deal with it when all hell breaks loose, and I'm not finna sugarcoat it. All right. That is something that you're going to have to work on and get over. And that's just the reality of it. And if not, then you're going to be left out here. And that's a sad case. That's a sad case for certain women that have been with men of the Lord for a certain amount of time. And then that be thrown away. All right. Or that time that they might have been with that individual. All right. Here it is. They've been with him for years and, gone through different things or whatever, built this relationship. All right. But then they turn around and get destroyed because they're overly emotional about that aspect. All right, or they didn't have a mindset to work on being able to deal with that. All right, and maneuver properly. OK. And it is going to be a shame when you got women that, in these last days, they could be tricking and doing whatever right now. All right. But then the fear of the Lord, rests upon them. All right. And then they just get with the program and then they get delivered when that other woman doesn't. So that's the reality of it. All right. So these are different things. Once again, we're not here to sugarcoat it to make you feel good and this and that and the third. Like, nah, you got to get over certain things, just like we had to get over certain things and conform to what's written. All right. And if you sincerely want salvation, then you're going to be praying to the Lord like, Lord, this is, something that's hard for me a hard pill for me to swallow. Give me the strength to understand it or to be able to deal with it when that time comes, if you're sincere. And if not, you're going to see how it's going to be out there during martial law and the famine, being out there on your own, all right, with the Lord, his wrath abiding on you. All right. So that's just the reality of it, man. But Isaiah 32:2, and a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. All right. So once again, that man is going to be a hedge, all right, from the destruction and the hell to come. All right. But to, excuse me. All right. But to remain with that man, all right, so that you can be delivered, there's a certain way that a woman needs to be conducting herself. All right. She needs to be obedient. She needs to continue, all right, in faith and charity, and holiness and so on and so forth. Right. So let's go back to this in the book of Titus. All right. Titus chapter 2 and verse 4. It says that they may teach the young woman to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of the Most High be not blasphemed. Right. So this word discreet, it says, of a sound mind, sane in one's senses, curbing one's desires and impulses, self-controlled, temperate. Right. So women aren't exempt from controlling their emotions. See, in this society, it caters to women. All right. To where, they can throw a fit and then everything goes in their favor, or men just have to suffer through certain things because she threw a fit, and you got to cater to her emotions and everything like that. See, this is how this society is, but this is not how the Lord ought to have it to be so. All right. You woman, you have to also learn self-control. All right. You say, you're learning wisdom or whatever the case may be. It says that wisdom teaches temperance. Temperance is self-control. All right. So you have to learn to put your emotions under subjection. Not to say that it's easy. All right. Especially with how the number that Esau has done on our women in their minds and defiling them. Like, he's really weaponized our women to look at us as being enemies. All right. Here it is. We're in captivity and hell together, but he's weaponized our woman to make it look like we're the enemy. And it's like, nah, we catching hell. We suffering these curses together. All right. And we trying to get up out of here. All right. But yet you're our enemy, and we're the ones through the spirit and power Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, the only way for you to make it. All right. To be delivered. Okay. But that's how, it's been set up in this society, and it's been strategically done once again through women's liberation, feminist movement. Hey, this devil, like, when you really look at it, even with the whole deletion of children, okay, see, he's weaponized the woman to kill our nation. All right, to kill our children. All right, like that's a war tactic. Okay, and he's used the woman to do that and to put it in their mind. They put it in their mind to find ways to justify it. Like, that's murder, and you're destroying our nation, But once again, this is, just the society that we're in, and these different things that have, he's been pushed, and the poison that he's pushed in our woman's mind and their reason and everything like that. If you want deliverance, you're going to have to fight to combat those different things. You're going to have to curb your desires, even with that. All right. You got women, they got a desire to be with this man and that man and everything like that. That's wicked. Okay. I mean, that's completely off. Right. Or not even that, they might not even get to the extent of where they lay down with another man and actually commit adultery if she has a man. Right. Because if you have a man and you go and sleep with another man, that's adultery. Okay. This whole hookup culture and, madness, this isn't the way of the Lord. All right. As you understand this knowledge and you believe and you lay down with a man, that is your husband. Okay. That is your husband there. That's what it is, So you go outside of that. All right. For whatever reason it may be. All right. I mean, that's adultery. That's what it is. So this isn't something to be played around with, man, because the Lord is bringing in swift judgment. All right. But it says curbing one's desires and impulses. Oh, what I was going to mention is even you got women. All right. They might not go to the extent of laying down with another woman or another man. Of course, not another woman. That's completely wicked as well. All right. But then they got other guys entertaining them. They're being fed off of the attention of other men. I text this dude, I text this person is going, take me to dinner and whatever the case may be. Oh, he's just a friend and all that madness, man. All that stuff is wicked. All right. This whole just a friend and X, Y, and Z, like, nah, that's not the way of the Lord. Okay. So these different things have to be put away if, you want salvation, if you want deliverance. It says, curbing one's desires and impulses, self-control, temperate. All right. A lot of women, they get angry and flip the script. All right. They get emotional and they make rash decisions that they can't take back. All right. They can't take back. And it reminds me, I had pulled this up earlier. I've used this for a couple of lessons. All right. This image, it says, choices. Now, this is a wolf jumping off of a cliff. All right. Through this bird, what it looks like is taunting him. Right. But it says choices made in anger cannot be undone. Right. So that's something to really take heed to. All right. Allowing your emotions to, to rule over you, to make to where you make these rash decisions and everything like that. You're going to end up killing yourself. All right. You're going to end up being out on your own because you got emotional and you couldn't put those different things under control. And you didn't pray to the Lord to help you with your emotions. You weren't fighting those different things. Right. You weren't truly battling. You thought you was just going to skate in or you might be joined with a man of the Lord and just thought you could talk to him any kind of way, mistreat him or whatever the case it may be. All right. And the Lord turn around and leave you out there, man. All right. So this is something to, really take heed to, man. And going back to, Lot's wife. All right. Okay. Whatever her reasoning was, okay, on why she looked back, it led to her being disobedient. Okay. It don't matter what her emotions were. It don't matter how she could have justified it. Well, I did this because of that. And I did that. Well, I felt like this. So, or whatever. No, it led to her being disobedient and being destroyed. So all this, well, I did this because of that. I did this. But you're going to be left with the consequences of what you actually did. All right. And that's what all of us. Okay. We can say, well, no, I didn't. The scriptures talk about, and I'm going to get back to the precepts, Salaki. I don't want to ramble. But the parable that Yahushua gave about different individuals that were bid to the marriage. And it said that certain different individuals didn't come to the marriage. It said that one person had an excuse that, I got some land. Let me tend to it first. And another individual said, I just married a wife. Let me go, deal with her. And then, I'm going to come back maybe to the marriage. And, the point being is that it says that they all with one consent began to make excuse. All right. And it said that excuse made the Lord angry. All right. And those servants that were bidden, that didn't come for whatever it didn't matter what their excuse were, they got destroyed, right? So our emotions aren't an excuse, all right, to disobey the Lord. All right, it says be angry and sin not. So yeah, we can have certain emotions. We're gonna have it. We're gonna feel certain types of way about certain things that are gonna make us uncomfortable, but it's not excusing us, all right, if we go off because of that, So you can make a decision, all right, in your emotions. It could be anger. It could be, jealousy. It could be whatever the case may be. And you jump off a cliff and that just be the end of it. All right. So, really got to take these things seriously, man. This time that we have day by day to really work on ourselves and cry out to the Lord and, perfect our spirits and prepare ourselves for what's to come. We really need to be taking it seriously, man, both men and women. Right. So it says, that's it in that Titus. So let's go to this in the book of Sirach. All right. The 26th chapter, just to hone in, because that word discreet was heavy, man. I said they have to curb, we have to curb our desires. All right. We have to curb our different, whatever the case it may be, man. All right. This is Sirach 26 and verse 14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. Right. All right. So a woman that has a mind well instructed in the proper way, that's a value. OK, she's able to take heed to the instructions that are given and so on and so forth. All right. That adds value to her. OK, having a meek and quiet spirit. These are different things that, bring more value. Having a fear of the Lord. It says favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. But a woman that fears the Lord. All right. She shall be praised. Roughly paraphrasing it. See, that's where the value comes in the inner man. All right, don't comes with this outward appearance. And majority of you women, you've already had at least, a couple bodies already, right? You done slept with so many men to the point to where you can't pair bond. All right, and when you go into pair bond, man, that's a very and it's a very what's the word I can use? It's very important, within relationships, and that's why the Lord set it up for a woman to have one man. All right, because that pair bond, it attaches her to that man. All right, but when she's continually attaching herself to different partners, that has a way greater psychological effect, all right, on the woman, all right, than it does with a man, because a man was created differently. A man was created to where he has multiple partners, right? But a woman, she'll get to the point to where she can't settle down with one man, all right, because of comparing him from other men, all right, to other men, or whatever the case may be, right? That pair bond, to where she can't fully connect to a different individual. That's why you got women, they give up good men, all right, that they'll even admit, like, man, he's good, he does this and he does that, all right, but they can't attach themselves to that man because they've already given themselves over to so many men. And they make up these excuses, all right, and the man will be doing what he needs to do. He'll take care of her, look out for her and everything like that. But you've destroyed yourself, all right, through the liberty that you've been given by Esau, Edom, and thought that playing the field and sleeping with all these different men was good for you, when really it was just a way to destroy you. All right. And now you have to battle out of that and come to the point to where you're going to have to submit to one man and that man only. All right. That is going to be your man. And it ain't no, oh, I'm finna leave and go do this and that and the third, or whatever the case may be. Nah. All right. These are different things that have to be purged, out of us. OK, this Western mentality and so on and so forth. Right. These are different things that get purged out of us as we come into the knowledge of this truth. Sirach 26:14, a silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there's nothing much worth as a mind well instructed. A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued. Right. So a woman that has a continent mind, and when we go into this word continent, all right, it says continent. It says self-restraining, temperate, abstemious, right? Abstaining from or moderate in sexual intercourse, holding together, right? To hold back, check. So a woman that can, check herself, all right? Check her thoughts, can restrain herself, be temperate. That brings value to her, all right? Because once again, you women don't even recognize that you've lost your value. Once you've slept with one man and after that, you've been devalued. And you continue to devalue yourself more and more, all right, through laying down with another man and so on and so forth. All right, that's why you got women in their damn 60s and 40s talking about, I finally want to settle down. Like, you done been through how many bodies and now you're trying to settle down because you ain't got your beauty anymore or whatever. You looking for Mr. Perfect. He's got to meet this requirement, that requirement, and X, Y, and Z. And majority of those things is unrealistic. All right. Completely unrealistic. But this is what, Esau's, how he's defiled our woman's mind to weaponize them to where they destroy themselves, man. 60 years old talking about I'm ready to settle down. All right. Well, who was that? Vivica A. Fox, talking about I'm ready to guys that put in the application. Like, you out of your mind, man. Nobody wants your ass now. All right. You done defiled yourself. All right. You done abused yourself, man. Yeah, you might get a couple simps here and there. And majority of the time, man, men at this point, because of how women conduct themselves and the way that they reason, they're at the point to where it's like most men is like, look, I want to continue on with my own life, and I'll just hit this here and there, just to satisfy, the carnal pleasure. But they don't want nothing to do with these women, man, because of the way that they reason. All right, they aren't good partners. All right, they aren't submissive. They're always combative, right? Nobody wants to deal with that, come home to a dragon, or come home to, a fight or a woman that don't listen or don't have things taken care of and everything like that. Men are like, shit, I'm comfortable just doing things on my own without that headache, just to hit it here and there. And that's what women have reduced themselves to, because of not having any value but what they're presenting sexually, man. So this is, yeah, man, that's why, man, that we're at the end of this thing, this whole dating scene, and how relationships and the battle between men and women, and our women looking at us as enemies and everything like that, man. This is all going to be over with. All right. And women that are going to be delivered, they're getting out of these Western mentalities and the feminism and the liberalism, whatever the case it may be, in learning to or becoming a new creature. All right, conform to the image of Yahweh Shai in a way that's acceptable unto him. Right? So that's it on that word continent. So let's go to this in the book of Ephesians, the 5th chapter. All right, Ephesians chapter 5. All right, going back to the point of obedience, right? Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 22. It says, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord, right? So that's plain. You submit. This is how the Lord has set up the order. Submit yourself to your husband as unto the Lord, right? In the NIV, it says, wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands as you do to the Lord. So you got women that think like, okay, you know, I got my relationship with the Lord, but I ain't got to submit to no man. All right. You know, or you just going, you know, you're going to be on your own. Like, nah, that's not how the Lord has set it up. Nah, your salvation is going to be through a man. All right, it says she shall be saved through childbearing if she continues in faith and charity with holiness and sobriety, man. All right. So the purpose of the woman being delivered is so that she could carry the seed of the elect, or the elect man in the kingdom, bear his children and raise them up. And that's a glory to a woman. See, now we're at the point to where women talk about they don't even want children. Where at this point, you know, when you read throughout the scriptures, man, that was a reproach to not have children. Like a woman's purpose is like, look, I want to carry the seed of this man and raise up his seed and, you know, allow this child to be great and everything like that. But that's been stripped away from the minds of our women, something as natural as that, as wanting to have children because of the philosophies, the defilement in these colleges. All right. And through feminism, liberation and everything like that, man, you have a woman that'll rather have a career than have children. All right. When your career was your household. All right. Instead of investing into somebody else's business, you were investing into your household, which was your business. All right. Underneath the head being the husband. OK, forwarding that. Right. But now they instead of forwarding your own business. All right. Within your household under your manager or the CEO being your husband, you'd rather go to another person's job and labor this many hours a week and everything like that. Like this, you know, for his business. OK, which is madness, man, instead of your own. So our woman is completely defiled, man. This has done a number, you know, Esau's done a number on him, man. So where a majority of them is just going to be destroyed here because they aren't going to break out of these different things, man. And they've done a lot of wickedness, man, that the Lord is, you know, the Lord is going to see about. All right. But it says, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Yahweh Shai Mashiach is the head of the church. And he is the savior of the body. Right. So, you know, Yahweh Shai, he's the head of the church. All right. The man is the head of the household. All right. And the woman is submissive unto that. And Yahweh Shai, he's the savior of the church, of the believers, of the elect. Right. You know, the body, you know, starting off with what? The men of the Lord. And then what? And then that man, he's going to be the savior of his household, just like we're going to go back in the account with Lot. And we can go back in the account with Noah. All right. Noah, through his work and effort that he was putting in, all right, his household got delivered. Right. Through Lot being a man that regarded wisdom, believed in Yahweh, a follower of Yahweh. All right. He was being delivered and his household. But the one member in his household that was disobedient unto his instructions, she got destroyed, being his wife, which is what we're going to go back into, right? Therefore, as the church is subject unto Yahweh Shai, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything, right? So you're going to have to learn to obey. All right, we're learning to obey and submit. You're going to have to learn the same. And if you want to rebel and continue to fight against it, all right, as opposed to, you know, fight your own emotions to get over certain things, they're just going to be left out there to suffer. And that's just what it is, man. All right. A lot of you women is proud enough to even think that you can deal with being, you know, in these times on your own, man. I've seen it happen. All right. I've seen women talk all types of mad, crazy, you know, I can do this and I can do that, man. As soon as the Lord put a ounce of terror into them, just a fear, you know, like if somebody jumping around the corner and say, boo, you know, to scare the mess out of them, man. You know, but in reality, just seeing different things that I've seen the Lord judge and bring women through to where it humbled them so quick, all that shit was out the door. You know, all of it was out the door, man. All right. And then eventually they end up turning back to it in certain cases. Right. This is the book of that's it in that. All right. In that Ephesians. All right. So let's go ahead and grab the account with Lot in the book of Genesis, the 19th chapter. And then we're going to wrap it up. Genesis chapter 19 and verse 12. It says, It says, and the men said unto Lot, hast thou here any besides son-in-law and thy sons and thy daughters and whatsoever thou hast in the city? Bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this place because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord. And the Lord hath sent us to destroy it. Right. So the Lord was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay. Through fire and brimstone, which is a very grievous and painful death that they experienced, man. All right, it says, and Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, get up. He said, up, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy the city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law, right? So the Lord revealed it unto his servant, being Lot, what he was going to do. All right, just like the Lord has revealed unto us what he's determined to do upon this place, right? And what did he do? He instructed his household, all right, of what was going to come down and what needed to be done, all right, to escape. So it says, but he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law. So his sons-in-law, they thought he was joking around. See, people think this is a joke. And why would you think that he was joking around? He's saying fire and brimstone finna come down this place and be destroyed. All right. And then this time we telling you that, look, man, famine is coming. Nuclear destruction is coming. Martial law is coming. Right. You think we joking around? Does that sound like something funny? All right. Does that sound like it's something to be played around with? All right, the wrath of the Lord, the terror of the Lord, man. Tell you, hey, Esau gonna be torturing Jake in these re-education camps. Is that something to play around with? All right, you woman's gonna be in the midst of that, man. You ain't finna be all delicate and they finna throw your ass in that re-education camp as well, man, and do whatever, right? And this is what's written in the book of Isaiah. Talks about in Zechariah talks about woman raped in the streets, man. Like this is no game at all. All right. This is no game at all, man. The judgment of the Lord is something very serious, man. So, playing around, playing these mind games and everything like that, man, it's going to get you out there left on your own to suffer without no help. All right, without no hedge, without no protection, right? But it says, verse 15, and when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, arise, take thy wife and thy two daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the city, consumed in the iniquity of the city. All right, so it says, verse, let me see, because I was going to jump. I'll read through. It says, and while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand and upon the hand of his wife and upon the hand of his two daughters, the Lord Yahweh being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth and set him without the city, right? So these were angels that took Lot and his household, all right, and were bringing them without the city. It says, and it came to pass when they had brought them forth abroad that he said, escape for thy life. Look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain, escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. So he said that, look, all right, make sure that you don't look back. All right. So, Lot instructed his household, like, make sure you don't look back. That's why the angels instructed me this. And I'm telling you this. So just like with us, the Lord has instructed us in this way, and this is what we're instructing our households in. All right. And if you go outside of that, you're going to suffer the fate of Lot's wife, as we're going to read what happened to her. So jumping down to verse 23, it says, the sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar. Then the Lord Yahweh rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord Yahweh out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities and that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. All right. So she disregarded the instructions and she looked back, and it led to her death. All right. Led to her death. It don't matter what her reasoning was, why she looked back or whatever the case may be. Nah, it was clear instructions. Don't look back. All right. So those instructions that Lot gave, all right, that he got from the angel for his household was to hedge them from the destruction. Okay. So that obedience, if she would have just been obedient unto what was said, she could have, been delivered out of that. Right. But instead, now her ass still there as a pillar of salt, man. You could look up Lot's wife right now, and they say that you could look up the pictures, and they say they believe that's actually Lot's wife. All right. And you Google it, Still there right now, man, as an example, like it says in the book of Wisdom of Solomon. Let's grab it real quick. Wisdom of Solomon, the 10th chapter. Now, Lot, he did have substance, back in Sodom and Gomorrah. So she could have looked back because of, whatever, she cared about the place, whatever. Once again, it don't matter what her reasoning was. It says that, she's a monument of an unbelieving soul, which we're going to grab, right? But that's the point, these different reasoning of why you did this and why you did that. If it leads to your disobedience, all right, you still have to suffer the consequences for it. So your emotions, all right, is not going to be an excuse of, that's going to give you a pass, all right, from judgment from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. This ain't we ain't dealing with Esau where he just give women a pass on certain things and they don't have to be accountable. Nah, you will have to be accountable and you will be required to put your emotions under subjection. All right. And if you're sincere and you're praying to the Lord and asking for these different things, man, the Lord will give you the strength to overcome these things to where you ain't gonna be tripping, all right, where you're gonna become a new creature, all right, and certain things ain't gonna affect you. Now, we all in the flesh, so things are gonna happen, all right. We're going to go through battles. We're going to slip and everything like that. But there should be a fear and a reverence. All right. A fear and a reverence. All right. For these words, for understanding the judgment to come and what's necessary to escape. And you will need to reverence your husband. All right. A reverence is a godly fear. Understanding that, look, if I'm disobedient unto this man and if I'm not listening and everything like that, the Lord will fuck me up. All right. And I've seen it happen, and I've seen it happen on multiple occasions. All right, seeing in brothers' experiences, dealing with a woman that was disobedient and the Lord bringing his wrath upon them, my own personal experiences and everything like that. So the Lord is the Lord isn't nothing to be taken lightly. All right, this word, this ministry, understanding these things is not something to be taken lightly, man. This is Wisdom of Solomon 10:6. When the ungodly perished, she delivered the righteous man who fled from the fire which fell down upon the 5 cities. So going back to the account that we just read of Lot being delivered from out of Sodom and Gomorrah. All right. It says, and the she that delivered the righteous man is wisdom. All right. So this wisdom, applying it, taking heed unto it, will deliver us from the destruction to come, as we're going to continue to read. It says, of whose wisdom, or Salakia, of whose wickedness, even to this day, the wasteland that smoketh is a testimony, and plants bearing fruit that never come to ripeness, and a standing pillar of salt is a monument of an unbelieving soul, right? So whether she just didn't believe that, like, man, is it really finna get destroyed? She could have been mocking, like, why he got us grabbing all this stuff, yeah, I got to do this and that and the third. So she literally there, like, probably mocking in her head, like, man, ain't nothing finna happen, So then they escape, they leave in the city, and then she looked back, probably thinking like, man, ain't nothing going on back there. And as soon as she turned back and saw saw that fire and, coming down upon that place, man, her unbelieving ass got destroyed. Okay. So it says, for regarding not wisdom, they got not only this hurt, that they knew not the things which were good. Right. So the people, the inhabitants of Sodom and Gomorrah, they didn't regard wisdom. Okay. Partaking in all that alphabetism. All right. All the wickedness that they were doing there. That's not regarding wisdom. It says they knew not the things which were good. Right. They didn't know how to, to please the Lord. Right. To escape that type of wrath and destruction. Okay. It was only Lot, the only righteous spirit that was in that whole city, man. Okay, the only righteous spirit that was in that whole city, and everybody else was caught up in wickedness, man, and evil, right? It says, but also left behind them to the world a memorial of their foolishness, so that in the things wherein they offended, they could not so much as be hid. But wisdom delivered from pain those that attended upon her, right? So wisdom, okay, which is what we've been given through the Spirit of power, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, through the knowledge of what's to come and how to please the Lord and how to escape his wrath and what he likes and what he doesn't like, right? Even the different things that I was speaking about, in regards to the woman, all right, them coming out of the feminist and, women's lib mentality and everything like that. These are things pleasing unto the Lord, which will allow them, all right, to be delivered from the pain to come. All right, the plagues that are going to come upon this place, man. All right, now that word attend, because we're required to attend to wisdom, man and woman alike. All right. And this is these instructions are the wisdom that's being, given out. That word attend, it says to be subject to, direct one's mind or energy. All right. So our mind and our energy needs to be directed towards this wisdom if we want to be delivered. Okay. You got women that's, they all caught up in the world with their, worldly girlfriends and everything like that, right? Well, those different things is going to have an effect on your spirit. It's going to have an effect on the desires that you have, right? Where your mind is at, they all up they counseling, go to, what he do to you, girl? Oh yeah, leave him. Right, got you jumping off a cliff and be destroyed. you know. What about that other guy that, what, he was cute. Why you ain't holler at, counseling you to commit adultery, giving you wicked advice, right? These different things have an effect. That's why the scriptures talk about evil communication, corrupt good manners. So the Lord is giving guidelines on how to avoid being caught up in this world or in a way of thinking that will cause us to be destroyed. All right. But if those instructions, that's why, hey, brothers getting, different situations, they be like, man, a lot of the times it'd be like, yeah, man, her mama in her ear, or this person in her ear and that person in her ear, right? Allowing other people to influence their way of thinking and so on and so forth, as opposed to hearkening unto the instructions of her husband, right? And therefore what? Leading to her destruction, leading her to make decisions that are displeasing to the Lord and just suffering more. All right. Remember the account of Jonah. All right. See, Jonah, he was given instructions to go prophesy at Nineveh. He disobeyed. So what did the Lord do? Had him go through more hell. Okay. To force him to submit, So he didn't want to go prophesy. He got swallowed up by that fish. It said that he was in hell 3 days, man. And then, he ended up going to prophesy, man. He cried out to the Lord. All right. And he got delivered out of that. All right. And then he went to go prophesy, man. See, it's better to be obedient, all right, to these instructions as opposed to the Lord, all right, stepping in and forcing you to be obedient. Okay. And this is what the Lord is going to do with majority of these people, especially these women that's talking trash and rebelling right now. All right. He's going to force them into submission through the terrors and the plagues that he's going to bring upon them. I already see it, man, Jacob's going to be in the midst of, JT time, man. There's certain women, they would have already been 2-3 months, all right, on their own, barely surviving, right? That's going to be crawling at the men of the Lord's feet, asking for help. Okay, after they done already, went through all types of hell. Who knows what, man? And it's going to be the spirit that the Lord puts on that man, whether it's like, she wicked as hell, man. The Lord put the spirit on him like, let her suffer. You can't come around here. And certain women, they're going to receive mercy. But walking in this pride, see, even these women, man, that pride has to be brought down. It says all the pride, all the lofty shall be brought low. All right, you thinking that you can just do your thing without a man, Miss Independent, or I don't need no man, whatever the case it may be. The Lord is going to martyr pride, of these women through these calamities that he's going to bring, man. Of all people, all the proud, all the haughty shall be brought low. So it's better to just take heed unto these instructions and be safe, as opposed to the Lord pouring out his wrath upon you. And if he sees it fit to deliver, all right, then you having to go through all that when you could have just listened. All right. Which is why I wanted to bring up that example with Jonah. But we're going to end it off in the book of Matthew or Luke. It's the Luke that we started off with, but I'm going to just jump up. Luke chapter 17 and verse Luke chapter 17 and verse 26, it says, and as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. Right. So people were caught up in their life. They were caught up in their careers. That's what their mind was invested into. They weren't invested in, trying to escape the wrath. They weren't invested in the Lord. Right now, they were invested in all these different things, right? So then what happened? Well, we just read it. Said Noah entered into the ark. So he was building that ark. He was focused on pleasing the Lord, doing what was commanded him. So he was protected. And the flood came and destroyed them all. And everybody else got destroyed, right? Likewise, also, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded, right? So everybody going about their lives is normal, right? Not regarding the Lord, not regarding wisdom, not considering his wrath, right? But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. All right. It says in that day he which shall be upon the housetop and his stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it away. And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back. Remember Lot's wife, right? Lot's wife looked back and got destroyed. So this is a lesson for all of us. Don't look back, or whether, don't be, trying to engulfing yourself back in this world, entangled, with this society, right? Caught up with these different things, man. Don't look back. Continue to obey and follow the instructions that's been given us from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shad, man. Hey, so having that being said, Lord's what I was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakurash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Pushing out this word in all sincerity and in truth. With that, I'm going to say shalom.